Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Today is May 2nd, 2020, the 49th day of the quarantine, and our spiritual snack today is from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. Let me just start by reading it. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. So this is the beginning of chapter 12 of Hebrews. Chapter 11 talks about basically the Hall of Fame of Faith, the Hall of Fame of Faith, people, men and women who faithfully walked their spiritual walk from the time of illumination to the time of their deaths, most of which were if they were a prophet, was done violently and against their wills, and some just got old and died. But they were faithful to the end. So therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, there's no such thing as dead saints in the Bible. What they're called is witnesses. And we are to witness what they've done. That's what chapter 11 is all about. And perhaps they are in a stadium kind of a picture here, witnessing, watching us. We're certainly not supposed to pray to them or any of the saints that have been dead. When they were alive, then they died. We're not supposed to pray to them in any way, but perhaps they're watching us. They ran a race. Now we're running a race. And maybe they are aware of it. So how do we run that race? We're supposed to lay aside every weight and sin which clings to us closely, and let's run with endurance the race that is set before us. So, first of all, if you've ever felt that sin is a burden, that means you're human. And then if you've struggled with sin, as it says you're supposed to do in verse 4 here, which we're not going to get to, that it's supposed to be difficult. And here it says we are to lay it aside, that there's some activity to be done against it. The threat of sin reminds me of in Genesis chapter 4 with Cain and Abel, verse 7. If you do well, will you not be accepted? The Lord is talking to Cain. And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. Sin wants to have you, and here we see that as it clings to us closely, but we're supposed to run, so it's supposed to be attaching itself and weighing us down, and we're supposed to be unattaching it, laying it aside, and then running a race that is described as needing endurance. So this is a anaerobic kind of a race where it happens over a period of time. It's not a race you can just hold your breath and be done with. It's an ongoing race that is set before us. I was at Lowe's yesterday and watching a man not run his race well, but his race is different than my race. And so my race was to respond to him correctly as he ran his race poorly. My point is everyone gets their own race. The encouraging thing is in verse 2. So kind of bad news is they're dead people that ran all the way to the end, dying in the faith, that more bad news. We're weighed down by sin, which is part of the human condition. Number 3 is we have to lay it aside and fight against it and struggle against it. And how do we do this? All the way to a race that has some distance to it. Verse 2 answers, looking to Jesus. And that's the real prize of today, is look to him. So the question today is, what part of your race should you look to him? Do you have a difficulty with a particular sin that is clinging to you? Maybe some sort of a control issue, or your tongue, or your anger, or pride, or lust. If you have any of those, you're human. If you struggle against them, and if you wish to lay them aside as you look to Jesus, then you're a friend of mine. So I bless you, my brothers and sisters, as you struggle against sin, as you lay it aside, as you rip off what clings to you and look to him.